I want to introduce my good friend and fellow New Hampshireite, Mr. Michael Grosse, from founder 217 Studio LLC. Come on down.
Do I need to use
It's
that?
good to see you came from the University of No Hope.
Oh, no. No holidays.
All
right.
Well, I graduated from there too, so I can shoot as many as I want.
I'll just get set up here a second. Do I need to use that mic? Or?
Nope,
No.
you got it right there on your lapel.
Perfect. All right. So I am actually not going to start by talking about WheelTree. I'm going to start by talking about fencing, which is my pastime, my hobby. I've been doing it for over 20 years. How many people in here have seen a movie with fencing in it? Raise your hand. How many of you have enjoyed the fencing scenes in it?
Sorry.
All right, so that's fencing expectation. You have your icons. This is what fencing really looks like. How many of you have ever seen kids pick up sticks and go whacking at each other with them, or paper towel rolls? It's a natural instinct. It's one of the original sports. When you're born, you can think of sport as, I can beat you to that point, and then you get bored with that, and you're like, all right, now I'm going to hit you with the stick. It's just something that kids do naturally. So icons who fence: Mark Zuckerberg, Angelina Jolie, Winston Churchill, Neil Diamond. It's a varied group. And as I learned earlier today, Jim was also a fencer. Oh, you too? Yeah. Excellent. I love seeing that. Wherever I go and talk about fencing, there's always somebody who has some connection to it, but it's usually, I always wanted to do it, but I don't know how. All right, so kind of to step away from just kids, that's a 40-year-old and a 60-year-old at the end of a tournament that took 2 hours. So it's not just for kids. Anybody can do it, and one of those people was me. So the goal of Fencing.community, which is the project I'm here to talk about, or just the promoting fencing in general, is I want to do for fencing what Karate Kid did for martial arts in the US. Just get more people aware of it and knowing that it's out there. It's something that they can do, something that they can enjoy, that can add positivity to their life. These are just some of the benefits. I'm not going to read them all. You can take a glance and pick out which one you would like to have in your own day. These ones are especially good for entrepreneurs when you need to make decisions quickly with a lot of variables coming at you just as fast. All right, so why am I the person to do this? My name is Michael Grosse. I've been a technologist for 15 years in my own company, 217 Studios, and I specialize in digital transformation for small businesses. On the side, I've been kind of leading a double life because over 20 years I've been a fencer at a pretty high level. I'm nationally ranked. I've been a coach. I produced a TV show about fencing in the Boston market to bring it to new audiences. So that's who I am. The process that I'm going to apply to achieve that goal is building a digital hub called Fencing.community. It's not a .com, it's a .community. And the idea is to help anybody score their next touch, even if that's their first touch. So anybody can fence, but there's no real accessible way to get into it. That's what I'm building. And as a technologist, I'm going to approach this problem, as I do with my clients, by creating a web platform. So the WheelTree is the web platform that I created for digital transformation for small businesses. It integrates AI to make it easier. So now I can bring that same platform advantage that businesses have down to really niche markets. Anybody can use it. So I decided to put my money where my mouth is and use it to build this, Fencing.community. So that's kind of abstract for a lot of people. What does that look like? Many of you are familiar with like a WordPress. It's a CMS. It's designed to create pages. WheelTree is similar to that in that it's a platform, but instead of being page-based, it's experience-based. So a page has content that's static. An experience has something that's interactive. And a lot of people are getting more familiar with that by using AI. You don't just search for something. You say, do this with that. And it's a back and forth conversation. So 3 different ways that can be hosted. You create your experience, then you either put it on your existing WordPress site as a plugin. You can add it to our platform, thewheeltree.com. It's one step removed. Or as you're about to see, Fencing.community is all in, is having your own platform. So what does that look like? This is a current screenshot of the site, and it's going to look very similar to what you're used to with a website, where you have content that you're looking at, and it drives you naturally through the page to find what you're looking for. And it's not until a little bit later that you realize there's more features involved. So while it looks like a normal website, the capabilities that it has underneath are enormous. Like anything you can imagine that you've done on the web, you can do with this and integrate it very simply. So there's a streaming platform on there. It's kind of like a poor man's Netflix, but it uses the same AWS architecture that Netflix uses every day. You can have interactive quizzes, or you can have interactive tools for fencers who go to a tournament and say, I'm going to a tournament that starts at 8 a.m. This is my event. Generate a list of minute by minute where I should be, what I should be doing. So stuff like that you can't do with a normal content management system like WordPress. You need a way to do that interactivity, to program it without having to be a programmer. All right, so the advantage of being a fencer for me is I have a built-in audience. I've been doing it 20 years. I have contacts at every level, all the way up to Olympians, all the way up to the people who run the USA fencing organization. I'm actually on the board of the Central Florida Committee myself. So the idea is to start with what people are familiar with. Start with community, start with content. And that's how you engage people. And then you move on to education, which is slightly more interactive, where you have those tools. It's something like, plan my day at this tournament. And then you get to empower, where you can say, if you're a club, we can do a lot more for you at the business management level. Because you start with the individual fencer and kind of trace the path back to the people who have the more use for this kind of technology. Did you know fencing had a reality TV show? You should know because I told you at the intro, but it was called Blade Work. And in Boston, I basically took a young actor who had never fenced before, gave him a lesson every week for 10 or 11 weeks, put him in a tournament. So we followed his journey throughout a reality TV show challenge. That was 2010. It was a little bit too early for internet and social media marketing. So it existed and then went away, and nobody's really heard of it before. But now there's a platform and I have a streaming capability. Why not repurpose that content? So that's my gateway. People watch the TV show. Everybody here can watch that right now if you wanted to. I'm releasing one episode every week. And then how do I make money off of this? So you need to have some kind of membership plan. So the Bladework Video Library is where everything starts. It's that initial contact that everybody wants to see. What's fencing like outside of the movies? How do you actually get into it? What's a lesson look like? What does the equipment look like? What do I need to know? And then you have Community Track, which is right now just pay what you want because it's starting out. And I've already gotten people signing up for this within the first 10 minutes of promoting it at a local event down in West Palm Beach. So Community Track is just the first level of those interactive tools, guides, things like that. One More Touch plan is something that I'm launching in May, specifically for college graduates who have fenced and have dropped off the fencing scene. It's one of the most common things in sports. You do it through high school, you do it through college, then life happens and you're like, oh, that was nice, I loved it, but I can't do it anymore. I've been doing it for 20 years after I graduated, so you can do it. So I have the skill and the experience and the network of finding out where did people drop off? How do I keep them involved? So that's the problem that I love, and that's why I built this platform, really, to solve that one issue. And it happens to line up with the normal business client development lifecycle. So as a business, you want to acquire new clients, you want to develop relationships, you want to encourage repeat business, and this is where people drop off in sports. There should be another step of optimizing that relationship and keeping them coming back for more. So me having the ability to create these simple tools, because everybody wants software. They interact primarily with the world through their phones now, positive or negative, that's what people do. All right, how big is the market? Is this worth my time? For me personally, it's worth my time because I do it anyway. I fence every week. I'm still competing on the national level. But how big is it if you've never seen it before? That's a picture I took at the 2024 Nationals That's day 1 of 7 and hall 1 of 3. It was thousands and thousands of fencers. They do events like that, I think 6 times a year, and that's just in the US. So, you know, you can call it small, I call it niche. Some estimates is around 700-ish clubs in the US, 40,000 fencers who are registered through one organization. There are 2 or 3 organizations. Worth noting, and this is kind of the kicker here, 2028 Olympics are going to be in the US. So the 2 things that kick up interest in fencing, movies like Pirates of the Caribbean and Olympic cycles, because all of a sudden it's on TV, you get the athletes out there. Florida is the #1 hotspot for new fencing clubs in the country. Like the national governing body looks at Florida, ticks off all the marks. I know people in New York City who are looking at starting clubs in Florida as soon as they finish their training cycle. So I wanted to get out in front of that. Estimated annual spend for an average fencer is $750 to $5,000 per fencer. So it's not a cheap sport. It can be if you want to just stay local, like you can stay on the lower side. Yeah, so going to a competition like this is like a $1,500 minimum, just because of the cost of travel and entry fees and stuff like that. So it's an audience that has money to spend. And it's a franchisable model. So I'm a fencing expert. I'm starting with fencing. You might be an expert in another sport or another niche market like this. So you can really just clone this to anything if you wanted to. All right. So that's Fencing.community in a nutshell. And what you guys can do to help, I'm looking for stress testers because this is in a soft launch phase. So I've never introduced it to a whole audience at the same time. So you can check out the website. If you want to bypass the GoFundMe page, you can just use that invitation code to get a membership, although I would appreciate any kind of support, even if it's just $1. I'm completely bootstrapping this whole thing. So anybody who is interested in checking out the TV show, you can use that code to skip the entry fee. If anybody's interested in trying a local club, you can come out to College Park in Orlando, where I'm kind of an unofficial coach, but there is an official coach there. It's incredibly cheap and accessible. It's like $10 a lesson, but they let you come and watch. It's great for kids, great for parents. It's actually one of the few sports that parents can do with their kids, and I know multiple families who have started fencing because their kids were there, and they're like, oh, why do I just sit on the bleachers? I can go join them. Yeah, it's great. Great to see, because it's not just for the school year, it's year-round. It's however much effort you want to put into it. And I've seen parents become nationally ranked because their kids started fencing. So it's kind of an interesting sport that way. The other opportunity is if anybody has business events they want fencing at as kind of a unique experience for their employees, or C-suite training if you're interested in developing some of those problem-solving skills. It's something that CEOs love to, throw around. Hey, I fence in my spare time, but it actually does give great benefits for the problem-solving aspect of it and looking at problems in a new, unique angle. So that is my presentation.
All right, thank you. You know why so many parents are involved in this? Because they can symbolically kill their kids. Every time and they piss them off. All right, so questions, Denny?
Michael, if you were to put out a demonstration, a show, how much room would you need?
Not that much, honestly. Like you could do it in this space here. The fencing strip that's more than what the on-guard line difference would be. So you could do it in an auditorium like this. You could do it in any conference room, as long as you had enough room for the audience too.
Is that Rashad?
I knew a long time. I never knew you had this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, never told me about it. This is one of the best presentations I ever heard.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you.
Went through so detailed. I've not seen anybody presenting like this detailed. Like it's your entire business model. Okay? How to make money easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is what you are doing as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is big business.
Right.
This is better than your other business.
Yep.
Okay? So, thank you.
Hey Mike, how do you structure the pricing? I mean, how did you come up with these numbers? Whatever numbers you have, this is the first question. Second, I
Yep.
didn't understand the flow of the app. What do you offer there?
Okay, that's a great question. So pricing is always difficult because this is a passion project of mine and I know the audience and I wanted it to get out there. That's the most important thing. So I made most of the content out there right now on the site is free, but it's kind of like if you go to a news website that has a paywall. So the most interesting stuff, you can click on it and see like the first paragraph, and then it says register to get access to this, but it's a pay what you want model. So it comes up with a page where it has like 1 to 5 or 5 to 10, and then people can click what they want. The first person who I actually signed up in the wild picked the middle option, so people are willing to spend money for it. And then the one-touch plan, I'm still working out the pricing for that, but it's based on the lowest number that I can get that somebody who's just interested in it would say, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. I don't want there to be any friction whatsoever for this first year. And because the cost to me is so low to run it, I want to keep it as low as possible. And then what was this? The flow of the app? So the back end is being fleshed out right now, but it's basically you log in at first to watch the TV show. It's like a streaming app. So you have the different episodes you can click into. A new episode comes out every week. And then you have access to the guides, which is the content. The one-touch plan is the one that's going to really integrate the interactive features. So that one's still under development. It's going to work out in May when it launches. So that's a great question.
Where is your studio in College Park that you?
It's the Princeton Elementary School gymnasium. Yep. So
What time are those?
that's Monday and Wednesday at, what is that, Nick? 6:30?
Six for children usually, and 6:37 for adults.
Yeah, I usually go at 7, and I work with a group of adults in the back. There's a kids class that starts earlier, but I can definitely connect you with the coach there, who would be more than happy to have more members coming out.
Is that AM or PM?
PM. Yep. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, I will be there tonight. If any of you know Nick, not to embarrass him, he is also a fencer. Fence with Nick over there from NV Labs every week.
Hey, Michael. One, I've looked at your website. I love the flow of it and the look. Very good.
Thank you.
On the way here this morning, I was listening to my favorite podcast, which is My First Million. Sean Purry and Sam Parr, who ran the Hustle and Milk Road newsletters. And I recommend this to any entrepreneur, this podcast. But what they were talking with a TikTok expert. And if you're wanting to create a movement, and I'm not I don't do social media at all. I suck at it, and I'm terrified of it. But I need to. But with what you're wanting, the vision that you have for this, I'm going to send you the link to today's episode and what this guy is talking about, because the content that you have access to with the national fencing community, I think you could do the Karate Kid thing. I think you really could in this day and age, and it's not about making a movie. It's about promoting the sport and promoting the people that are involved in the sport. And I think there's a fantastic opportunity for you to take advantage of that kind of content. You and I have never talked about social media and TikTok in general. Pretty sure it's not going away. And right now it is what Facebook was in 2008. It's what Amazon was in 2014. And it's what newspapers were up until the late 1990s. And so I'm going to send you that, but I really think that you can take what you're doing and really make it, especially with the Olympics coming up. So,
Is that a question?
what do you think?
Yeah. No.
I know I break my own rules all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm all for it.
Hey there. Question. How do you make it easy? Can you shine a light on how you make it easy for people to update? Like if they started to use the platform, because when I work with clients, the technical overwhelm happens really fast for people. And when I try to build solutions, I try to make it easy so they can manage it. So what is your approach? Because I see you're very organized in the way that you organize your data. How do you make it simple for your target audience to use this on a day-to-day to make their business smoother?
That's a great question. Just to clarify in my mind, you're talking about the WheelTree, not the fencing app, right?
Yeah, it seems like I believe the fencing app, you built it on your WheelTree
Correct.
platform, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so yes, I guess I'm talking about the WheelTree platform. So you're using the WheelTree platform to build fencing community. So can you just shed a little light on WheelTree, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I had some slides prepared in case anybody asked about that.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if there's any after this.
Oh, there aren't? Yeah.
Oh, I guess there is, okay.
All right, so I kind of anticipated this. So I'm going to kind of, I don't know how much time I have.
Just about 2 minutes.
2 minutes? All right, this is the condensed version. All right, so tech businesses are about channeling habits. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like you said, you have to make it easy for them. The primary habit that's taking charge right now is people want interactivity. They don't want static. So WheelTree is designed as a structural model from a high level of how do you build and how do you train somebody to go from thinking in pages and sitemaps to how do I have to think for an experience that I want to integrate on a web platform. So this is the model for that. It's basically each one of those hexagons is a protocol in the software. And I know we're getting high level here. Here's an example of how it looks in Fencing.community. So you define what you want to do up front, and then what you're asking is how do I manage that for the user? Right now, this is the end of how much I've built for WheelTree. I'm using it for myself because I don't have to invest the capital to build that UX that I know is going to be difficult. I would need an investor for that level of development. So Fencing.community is built on a platform so that I can do it as quickly and easily as possible. But however you do it, it's going to use this same mental map, basically. I call it a source of truth map. And it's how, instead of a sitemap for a website, how do you source this experience? So I have a whole white paper, basically, that explains how it works from a technical standpoint. And I have the 15 years in the industry to know how to build it. I just don't have the capital to get it to that point. Yeah.
Okay, Rod?
So, one thing that I think you're missing in this protocol and description is transformations. Because you're selling a solution here, which is great, but people don't buy solutions, they buy problems. So, if you're gonna, the problem that the fencing community has is on your website, I just went through, did a AI evaluation of it. And you're not telling a story, you're not showing any transformation, you don't have any ideal client identified. There's a lot of things there. So if you were to build this into your WheelTree to where you could have those kinds of things built in, AI can greatly help you out.
Yep.
And help you those things. But a lot of mistakes that are made in building websites is you're building it for someone that's looking for it. People aren't looking for a solution, they're looking for their problem, and then they'll listen to the solution if you can identify with their problem. So
That's great feedback. I would agree with that 99% of the time. The thing with fencing is it wants this, and I know that they want it because I've talked.
But unless you can identify with the problems that they have that they're looking for with fencing, because there's probably 1,000 different search terms that you can search up with fencing. And unless you come up with the problems that people are looking for, where do I find gear? It's a problem, all these kinds of things. Then you can't really, how do I talk to other people in fencing? Right?
Yeah, that's great. That is an awesome point. That's actually in the roadmap is how do you find gear? Because it's the systems that are out there now are terrible. So slowly working toward getting to what you're suggesting.
Building
The path
community.
into a funnel is problems, not solutions.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Who owns the content? So I know you used Fencing Community as your first test project for WheelTree, but if I'm XYZ company and I want to do this for my company,
Mhm.
are you going to own everything I put on the platform, or do I retain ownership
No.
of my
Yeah,
CRM or my,
Yeah, I don't want to get into the business of owning people's content. I would rather put it on a database that they control under their own, logins and credentials, their own AWS accounts. So I would rather the client who is producing it retain ownership and handle all that stuff.
All right, fantastic.
All right.
So what can we, as the 1 Million Cups community in Orlando, do for you?
Great question. I'm looking for people to stress test the website, check it out. Use the invitation code if you want to check out any of the episodes. There is a GoFundMe portion on there, so if anybody wants to contribute to that, I am bootstrapping this, so I would appreciate that. But really just checking it out. I was curious to see what the reaction would be from a general audience, and this has been great, so that was helpful already as well. And if anybody wants to try fencing, Monday, Wednesday, just let me know. I can either connect you to Jenny, who runs the club, or give you my contact, and I'm usually there on Wednesday nights.
All right, thank you. So let me have this back. Let me give that to Jane. You know, the only challenge that I see from Karate Kid to fencing, Karate Kid, they can do that in a parking lot. What are you going to do with fencing? Pardon me while I whip this out. Great line from Cleavon Little and yeah, exactly. That'll be great. All right, now, back by popular demand. Hold on one sec. How many slides are on here? We're going to have our friendly librarian, Just Jane, because Tarzan's not here.
you did say that.
But she's gonna share a library resource for you and let you know how you can access it through the library. So if you have not got a library membership, go down to the Orange County Library. It's just right down the street here, and go get a library card.
Or you can go online. And so that's
Okay, see, she makes it too easy. You want to put this on, or you want this?
do
Just
we need
clip
to?
it. Just yeah.
Can people hear me? Can you all hear me?
It's pretty online.
Just put it right here on your yeah.
Card. Yeah, that's on your card.
Yeah, perfect.
That's okay?
Yeah.
All right. Greetings, everyone. And I've been asked to show a couple of resources. I know we have limited time. I believe pretty much that everyone in this room needs to market or wants information on demographics. I'm assuming that. Even if you don't have a business, it's interesting to just know the information of what's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a resource that's available to you now. And this isn't a joke, this isn't a gimmick, but it will be going away at the end of the month because at the end of March, and you'll see that in a moment. So you can access it through the library website. It's part of the Gale business, and it's called Demographics Now. That's the name of the database. And the company is going to be developing a new product. So they're going to be getting rid of this database, and at some point we'll find out about the new product. And if you Google it, you'll get the same thing I just told you. So it's no secret. Thank you. He's quick. we can move with this. That's great. Okay, so I just wonder, has anyone here used the Gale Demographics Now? Okay, so I'm impressed. Yes. Does that mean you listened to one of my previous presentations? Maybe, just maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do, and I don't know if it says it on here, but you really can create customized reports in seconds. You can do that. We're going to go ahead right now, and I'm going to show you how to create two reports. I think with the time that we have, and then maybe answer some questions. So we want to start. by, you'll see where it says the geographic area. And so I think we'll go ahead at the top there where it says entire US right now. You'll just type in where it says, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
just
okay,
type in Orlando right there. So you could use a zip code, you could use anywhere in the US. You know, there's all different ways. For simplicity, right now, we'll put Orlando, if that's okay with everyone, unless, yeah, okay, great. I kind of want to keep this moving, so, okay. And then we're gonna, did it say location set? So you need
Yep.
to enter that.
Location options.
No, sorry, we're gonna go ahead and enter this. Yeah, so
Okay.
just press enter.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
There, we got see the location set? Just,
I got it. I'll change
okay,
it.
so we're good. Okay, I just wanted to mention something. I don't know if you saw this because I was talking, but we did log in. So in other words, we're accessing this to the library website. If you have a library card, it doesn't cost you anything to access this. The Orange County Library System pays for the service. You'll log in with your library card and PIN number, and you'll get access to everything that we're looking at no cost.
What does it cost if you live in Seminole County?
You can, thank you for that question. You can get a fee card, and you can get that for $125 annual fee. Now, as you know, today I'm going to be presenting just a couple features from this one database. But if you get a fee card, you have access to all the databases and ebooks and classes and all sorts of things that I won't go into talking about because we want to look at the database. But it's a lot more than this. So is it a good deal? Actually, it really is. And I'm not saying that because I work there. It is a really great deal. And if you price another database, Morningstar, Wall Street Journal, Standard & Poor's, Value Line, if you price those other databases for an individual subscription, you'll see that it's a good deal. Okay, all right. You know, I'm actually not used to having someone navigate for me, so this is kind of cool. I keep wanting to put my hand on it and do this really fast. Thank you. Okay, so the location is set. We already did that. We're going to go where it says demographics, and you see report type. There's a drop-down menu.
Yep.
So in this case, for the first one, we're going to do the summary. So if you click summary, and then on this side, you'll see another drop-down menu.
Yep.
And then we're going to scroll down a little bit till we get to the, let's scroll slowly. So I want you to have an idea of all these different reports that you could create just like that. If I wanted, we're going to go to the executive summary report with charts. Sorry about that. There we go. Executive summary report with charts. Now, not just yet. We have to prepare for this. So, the executive summary report with charts, we're going to be looking at demographics for Orlando, but I wanted to mention a couple things. One is, what are some ways that we can use this type of information? You can use it for marketing. Yes, you can use it for site planning. You could use it for comparison studies. Maybe you saw a business in another part of the country, and you want to start that business here. You could run demographics and have them side by side. You could use it, maybe you're going to a meeting and you're applying for funding, whether it's a grant or a loan, and you need to substantiate, you need documents and information. So you could be anywhere, on your phone, and you could create these reports and bring up the data very quickly. So that part is really great. The first one we're going to look at is the executive summary report with charts. So everyone, we're going to run the report. We'll see how fast it happens. And I'm going to show you something in a minute. It's not going to be slow. No way. It's a little slow right now, it seems like. You see, okay, here we go. All right. Well, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we'll scroll. You can see here it has, the information at the top that we've just created this report. You can download it. You can print it. I want to show you a few things. So in this one, you'll see, and this, I hope you're going to appreciate this. This has historical information. It has recent information, and it has projections. So is that something that you need to know? Is that helpful? Yes. You want all of those. And here we have actual numbers, population in the study area in 2010, and then we have for 2029. So here we have the population. We'll move on a little bit. So if you want to, there we go. We have the household information, projections, and now we have the population by age. So let's get a little, if we can think, perfect. Okay, so we're talking about fencing. So if we were to look at the ages, how many people, could we consider would be interested in fencing in these ranges, right? A lot, right? I've seen fencing with, someone in their 90s who was out there fencing. So a lot of people. So here we have a breakdown. And we, like I said, we have the historical, the current, and the projections. And if we scroll up, we have race and ethnicity. This can be very helpful. Sometimes people are applying for certain grants, or the product or service that they're offering is going to meet a certain ethnic background. There can be different reasons why people need this sort of information. So that's very helpful. And also looking at the projections. So where is it going? And if you're preparing marketing plans and demographics, this type of information is helpful. Now, we might spend a little bit longer in this area. So this is households by income group. So whatever product or service that you're offering, is there going to be income there that's going to be able to afford it? So this can be very helpful information. And we have, how are we doing here? Are these the numbers that you all expected? I say it's pretty good. I think it looks pretty good, Orlando, don't you? Oh, so, so we have the household income, and we have the per capita income, average household income. And this same type of information, we can get a much greater breakdown. This was an executive summary report with charts. This was a summary, but this is, it's a great chart. You can print it out with a lot of information that you can use at once to be able to look at. And then if you want more specific information, you can get it. So any questions so far about how we got here? It's going to be a short question, right, Shan? Because we're going on to another report. You get 10 seconds.
I'm telling you, this is fantastic.
Okay, that was really good. Thank you for that question.
You get the million times faster. You can use ChatGPT and you get the best prompt engine in the world. And you get to report all those, anything and everything, anytime you want to.
I'm not sure that we're going to agree with that, but I don't know that that was a question. So we're going to move on to the next report. Okay, so we want to go ahead and we'll go back to where it says summary, and we're going to do the drop-down menu. And then we're going to scroll way down, and we're going to go to the mosaic. Okay, so if you'll go where it says mosaic detailed charts, if you'll click on that, please. And big thanks to Jim for helping with all this. I feel like I'm a little bossy here, just because I'm used to doing it. Okay, so okay, sorry, wait. So if we scroll down, we have okay, I want to explain what we're looking at first. Okay. So everyone, whoever is paying attention here, it looks like everyone, so thank you. This is a term to note. So it says, let's just show them again how we got there, if we don't mind. So if we can scroll up a little bit, we're in the report type summary, and then we went to report name. You see there's a whole list, and we went to the mosaic detailed charts, okay? Yeah, good. So right now it doesn't look like too much. It looks like some more numbers on the page, but I want to show you something in a minute. So this is breaking down the mosaic groups, and you can see here, if we can, so we see some breakdowns here of different types, right? And what are these names and what do they mean? So if we scroll down a little bit more, Now, we're going to go ahead and click on one of these, okay? So let's go ahead and click on, which one?
Moving with confidence.
Okay. Booming with confidence. Okay, now first let me just explain something. I know you all are really smart people, but I still need to explain just a little bit. So we're seeing here the household breakdown, and you see here the numbers, and then you have the percentage, okay? And again, we're looking at Orlando, but you could do this for anywhere in the nation, okay? And now, let's go ahead. We're clicking on the booming with confidence. So now we have a full report here that's breaking down this demographic and telling you all about them. And you know, most entrepreneurs want to know about their demographic and then how do I market to them? What's the best way to market to this particular demographic, right? So here we have, and I'm still within time. Yep. Okay, so here we have the booming with confidence. We have some key features, highly educated, affluent, upscale, savvy investors, the technology adoption. We have information about their household income. If we continue a little bit, this is giving us more information about them and the percentages. And if we continue a little bit more, this is telling you more about how they got some of this information. So we'll continue. And now, how do we market? How do you market to this particular segment, this particular demographic? And it gives you detailed information about how to market to them and what's the best way to do it. And here we have most households in booming with confidence are found in relatively new subdivisions in the west and northeast on tree-lined streets worth more than $350,000. The majority have lived at the same address for more than 15 years. They've built up equity. Here we have they travel widely. They like to relax by reading, general editorials, travel and businesses, gardening and cooking magazines. So each one of those categories that you saw on that list where it said mosaic detail, you could click on and get a report like this. Is anyone impressed with this? Because you would have to actually pay, quite a lot of money to have someone create a report like this and get all the numbers and all of this type of information. And to be able to just create it in minutes, or it was even less than that. It's really fantastic, I think. And the mosaics are the ones where you get this type of report. You can create other reports that are, more of the numbers and comparison studies and ranking. If I want to know how many people buy snack chips in the 32801 zip code at the convenience store, I can bring that up and I compare it to someone in, I don't know, New York City zip code. Yeah, you could do things like that. Just in just a few minutes, you just bring it up and plug it in. Now, as you noted, if we go back to that beginning, you have until now, until the end of March, to access this because they're developing a new product and they're going to take this away. So was I smart to kind of show it to you now? Yes, because you can use it now. You have a while, you can create lots of reports, and you can use it in a variety of ways. And depending on your type of business, there are specialized reports that relate to technology or retail or, all different types of reports that you can pull up. Okay, so I have, 2 minutes? Because you need to make your announcement welcoming everyone to future events. Okay, so I think I have 2 minutes to answer any questions. Scott, is this a real question?
Yes, it is. Question. In seeing how this report is generated and the information that's presented, do you think that the new version is going to be incorporating the new tools that are available? Your opinion.
As a librarian, we do not give opinions. We provide factual information.
Wow.
And we have a number of Gale business products that are used on a regular basis. So I invite you to try other Gale products that the Orange County Library System offers.
So assuming that Gale invested almost $20 million in AI stuff,
I would expect that they would incorporate something like that.
So,
Go ahead, it's yours. You know where you're going.
oh, no, I wasn't going to. Is there,
Or do you know by any chance, do they allow to web scrape the quotation?
are, you can access and download and print the material that I have presented. So that's what you can do. And that's legitimate. I mean, it's provided, but you can't, I'm answering the question. I'm telling you what you can do, and that is that you could print this report, you can download it, you can create other reports with numbers, with documents. And I'm not discounting those statistics, that kind of information. It's just, this happens to look very pretty, but it also provides information on exactly, well, how do I market? In other words, a lot of people always ask, well, how do I market to this particular sector, this demographic? And by including the technology in that narrative that they showed, it tells you. And I've looked up the different demographic sectors for the mosaics, and they're not all the same. It's not like they put the same one on each one. They didn't. So, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share the resource, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
All right, that was pretty interesting, wasn't it? So as we head out, connect with someone. I'm going to go meet somebody over here at Cafe for the Soul on Church at 11. So as Eric says, go to one of the local shops. I had one of their lavender lattes the other day. Oh my gosh, it was really good. Not what I was expecting. And next week, I don't know if we have anyone on next week. If we do, we will find out. Nope, at this point next week. And so I thank you all for being here. We'll see you in 166 and a half hours, 9,990 minutes, and 599,400 seconds. And before I forget, Sean asked to make a quick announcement. My apologies.
Just one second. Yeah, thank you. Mac Barrow. Yes, I think it's a golden opportunity to get remote jobs. Right? If anybody wants to, please reach out to me. And I'm arranging a meeting at Rollins College, Grammar School. She will be invited. Most likely it will be a Zoom meeting. You guys all attend to see what opportunities she offers. She's one of the best that I know of in the world, for that matter. Please read the bio. Please read the bio. Tell me anybody is better than that. She should win a sort of a Nobel Prize for customer discovery. Okay? I'm not kidding. Check it out. She lived on 6 continents, 147 countries with her customers. Okay? And she's going to have 1 million customers by end of 2026, next year. I won't bet against her. So that's number one. Second thing is, I sent a one-pager last night about AI. Please go through that. By the end of this year, 90 million jobs will be lost in this country. But 90 million new jobs will be created. And we can all be in that second category. Anybody who's not thinking about adapting to change is going to regret it. And you guys can change it, because you don't have to worry about baggage. All the established businesses have baggage, that mental baggage. Okay, so that's the second thing. And the last one is there's a major competition coming in for women. Hardly any women here, I can't believe it. That's called NOBO, one of our sponsors. National, that's one of the best one. I sent it to about 21 of my mentees right in this county to attend. They have unbelievable competition. The deadline is coming any day. I requested about 21 mentees right here. I could have given them literally 100 women mentees if it was everywhere eligible or global. So I really express, if you know anybody, please let them know about it. It's amazing competition, all the way from established business to idea stage. And anybody can win it. And I said, you have to be in it to win it.
And those people who don't participate in, they're going to regret it. They're not going to make it. You have to be in it, like come and present here also, okay? So those are the three. Please share with other people. Thank you very much.
And tell them all to go see Sean in his office in Winter Park.
Yeah.